Matt Manning, and Javy Baez.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into a beautiful Tuesday edition of Locked On Tigers. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Today is Tuesday, Monday, April. Did I just say Tuesday, Monday? Tuesday, Monday. There you go. Today is Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. And we are coming off the heels of an absolutely electric Detroit Tigers 3-1 victory over the Boston Red Sox. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, and that's including YouTube. What a game! What a game all around. There's still some issues we need to iron out. There's still some stuff offensively that we got to get better on. There's still some stuff pitching wise we got to get better on. But Monday night, Javy Baez reminded everybody why you went out and gave him the contract you gave him. He put on a show, a one-man show. We won by 2 runs. He had 2 RBIs via the home run. Had a walk in there. Javy Baez walks? Is it a resurgence? No, I'm playing. Probably not. Don't count on that. But still kind of fun. Walk, home run for 2 RBIs in a game that we win by 2, and steals a hit on an incredible play up the middle. Dude put on a show. Team on his back type of moment. Reminded everybody, like I said, why you brought him in the first place and why he makes the big bucks. Because at games like Monday, that's why. Monday, April 11th, 2022. The reminder. That's why you bring in somebody of that caliber. That's why you bring in Javy Baez. He wins you ball games. And he sure as hell did on Monday night. Matt Manning was also absolutely phenomenal on Monday. Absolutely phenomenal. We'll break down his entire start. Really everybody that pitched, I thought looked pretty good. Gregory Soto had a little bit of command there at the end. We'll get to everybody that took the bump, but I do want to start with the bats. And the reason that I want to start with the bats is because they were still silent. And I want to get the negative out of the way at the beginning. And then we can get kind of into the positive to end the show. You know what I mean? We want to end on a good note. If you're listening to me in the morning, maybe during your lunch break, maybe you're on your way home from like work, you had a long day at work or something. I'm not trying to send you off on a negative note. Okay, we're gonna end on a positive note. So we're gonna get kind of the iffy out of the way at the beginning, and that is still the offense. The offense had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. Not bad. 8 hits. Sorry, not bad. Certainly have had some worse games this year. Still only accounted for 3 runs, and 2 of those obviously coming on the big hack from Javy. I think that there is still a lot. I mean, we all know that there's still a lot of room for improvement for this offense. Plenty, a plethora of improvement. I don't think that really makes sense. There's a lot of room to improve still. And one of the biggest things, honestly, it was weird because in this game, I thought the first inning, they looked fantastic. The offense, I thought, looked really good. They were working the count. They were, drawing walks, as we already talked about. Several people, Baez and Candy, both drew walks. I think Barnhart drew a walk too. Like that, they were working the count a lot, and that's one thing Baez did the entire game, which he gets a lot of heat for being the guy that swings at everything and he can't draw a walk. I think that there is a difference between being a free swinger and being an aggressive hitter. He's going to swing at anything he thinks is close to the strike zone. Absolutely correct. No denying that. Nobody should deny that. That's a fact. But I think that one of the reasons, and he's going to get his fair share of strikeouts because somebody's going to throw him a breaking ball that he thinks is in that area around the strike zone, and it's not going to be. It's going to bounce on home plate, and we're going to get that that Mets video. Like that's going to happen at some point in his tenure, probably multiple times. But I do think that there is an effective way to be an aggressive hitter. And I think Javy showed that on Monday night because he was working every single count he was in. He didn't strike out, and he worked every count, even the fly out, pop out, whatever. He was ahead in the count for several pitches in that at bat, right? Obviously the walk, the home run was a long at bat, right? So there's a huge difference just between, oh, he's going to go up there and swing at everything versus, okay, he's going to be aggressive and can still foul pitches off, can still get ahead in a count, right? There's just because you don't draw walks doesn't mean you're not taking big hacks on 2-1 and you're flying out. And that's why you're not drawing walks. You know what I mean? Like Torkelson is the exact opposite right now. Torkelson's the other end of the spectrum where he is extremely passive at the moment. He is taking everything. If it's even remotely close to well, I mean, if it is remotely close, even if the ball is like completely in the zone, like he's like, let's leave it up to the umpire. Like he is being uber patient and needs to get a little bit more aggressive. We saw it with Robbie Grossman last year. Robbie Grossman's gonna take his stood there like a house on the side of the road looking strikeouts. He's gonna have quite a few of them every year. But you take it and you're okay with that because he is going to be in the top 5 in the American League in walks. And his on-base percentage is going to be in the mid-300s, even though he has a mid-200s, low 200s batting average. So I just wanted to point that out, that I think there is a big difference between swings at everything and being aggressive, being a free swinger and being aggressive. I think that there's a fine line there. And you can effectively work a count, still go deep into counts, still draw the occasional walk, whatever. You can be aggressive without just swinging at everything. And you can still put together effective at-bats being that aggressive hitter. Javy with a walk, no strikeouts, and obviously the big home run tonight. Hell of a game. And that amazing play defensively. He really did everything. He did it all. One-man show. And like I said at the beginning, reminded everybody why you bring a big name guy like that in, because he can win you games almost by himself. Not entirely by himself, because Matt Manning was incredible tonight. Other stuff offensively, Austin Meadows continues to just rake. He's almost batting 500, and his on-base percentage is well over 500. He has like a 560 OBP right now, 4 games into the season. I think he's got a 460 average. The OPS is well over 1,100. Yeah. And I love him. I love him. I love it so much. And they're going to shift on him this year while they still can. And that's fine, because he's still going to eat, because he's beaten the shift. He beat the shift like 2 separate times tonight alone, Monday night alone. Right? Fantastic. Dude's unreal. And I love him in the 2 spot. I just think that's so perfect. Like, he also made a great play in left field. Didn't run a very good route there in the 9th on the Devers thing. I think a better left fielder gets him at second, but did make a nice little snow cone grab over there in left field on the Maglio slide, right? So I think it's just so nice to see him in the 2-hole, man. In my eyes, the 2-hole should be your most consistent best hitter. The hitter that is consistently on night in and night out, you can rely on to be the best. Not necessarily is going to be the best every night, but on a day-to-day basis, you look at your lineup and you go, who's my fallback that I can rely on the most to give me good at-bats tonight? That's going to be Austin Meadows for this team. I would argue probably all season. We'll get into the rest of the offense and then into that pitching. That was so fantastic on Monday. But first, I got to tell you all about betonline.net. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, news, including this year's basketball playoffs and the start of the Major League Baseball season. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information from live betting, playoffs, esports, and more. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another segment 2 at Locked On Tigers. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every day. Check out Locked On MLB Prospects. Host Lindsey Crosby is a prospect encyclopedia, and he's going deep on the MLB stars of tomorrow. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Javy Baez. I can't get over it, man. What an electric... First off, the ball was at his chin, and he turned on it and sent it to the moon. Like that was not barely a home run, right? Like he absolutely cranked that ball, went about 400 feet, and it was at his chin. Electric factory. I love that, man. Seems like he really wants to be here too, is buying into the culture that AJ's laying down, talking a lot about that kind of stuff. Already has had a lot of quotes about, we want to win the division. Obviously the opening day quote, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to have fun and we're going to try and win. It's just so refreshing. It's just so refreshing to have some expectations, but B, some players that have some expectations. Some dudes that come in here and like, we're going to win ball games. This is not a rollover year. This is not Dewell Lugo and John Hicks batting 3-4 lineup. No disrespect. John Hicks is my dog. I love John Hicks to death. But, let's be honest. It's just so exciting, man. The Detroit Tigers are exciting. The rest of the offense, only other people I want to point out, Jeimer Candelario. Nice walk as well. He's just so good at working the count. And I think he is still going to be a doubles machine in this ballpark again. I really do. And he's got off to my voice freaked out there for a second. He's got off to a little bit of a slow start right this year. Not worried at all. Jeimer, he has just such an elite sense of the strike zone. It's so fun to watch him just take at bats for real. Like, not that he's anywhere close to this good, okay? But he reminds me, he looks like he has the same mentality in the batter's box and the same style that Juan Soto does, right? Again, not saying he is ever going to be anywhere close to as talented as Juan Soto. Juan Soto is a top 3 player in baseball. But just as far as, like mental makeup and what he looks like in the batter's box, if you just watch both of them take ABs, they look very, similar. I feel like he has a similar mentality. I just love watching him in the batter's box. Scopey was good. Hitting Harold. Okay, so let's get the Torkelson thing out of the way. I say out of the way. We're almost halfway through the show. So Torkelson does get the day off. He doesn't start, I should say. Hitting Harold gets the start at first base, and Hitting Harold hits. Hitting Harold the nice little base knock to right field. Also, I was so excited, and so I was literally screaming and jumping around my house when Javy hit the homer. And in my tweet, I'm pretty sure I know for a fact I said that he hit the home run to right field, very much left field corner. And I replied to my own thing, but yeah, you can't make a mistake on the internet. That's for damn sure. So everybody, I'm aware that I tweeted out the wrong field. So Torkelson doesn't get the start. Harold gets the hit, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Torkelson then comes in to pinch hit for Harold Castro and ends up getting 2 at-bats out of it. Just so passive. Like it's blatantly clear. And the one thing I want to point out is that he has gotten off to these kind of slower starts at pretty much every single level he's been at as a professional. He comes into camp for the first time. Everybody's freaking out in spring training because he starts off 0 for whatever with a couple of walks in there. Again, because he's very passive when he first gets to a new level so that he can see some pitches and get his timing down and see, the speed difference. I mean, there's a pretty blatant talent and velocity difference when you're going up through the system, right? So at every level, he has gone through that slow start, then exploded, slow start, then exploded, slow start, then exploded. Why would this be any different? It won't be. But not everybody is aware of that. And everybody just loves to freak out. Oh my goodness, a 1-1 pick isn't batting 700 in the first 4 games of his Major League Baseball career. So he must be terrible and should go back to Toledo. Everybody's just got to calm down. Torque's going to be fine. He is an unbelievably talented individual, and he is far too good for AAA. Okay, if you watched even a single at bat of his last year after his slow start, you are well aware and understand that he is far too good to go back down to the minors. That narrative that a certain subsection of fans is starting to push and believe somehow is unbelievably ridiculous to me. He'll be fine. Okay, he'll be fine. Akil Badu in this game also struggles. He is still looking to get on base, period, for the first time this year. Torkelson has, 3 walks or whatever. Three walks. Yeah, Badu really off to a tough start to start off the season. It's also too early for him. I'm not going to come on here and say that he has the ceiling of Torkelson. However, I do think that it's still pretty early for him. I would imagine that at this point, until he can at least get a couple of hits together, you're probably not going to see him against lefties very much. He did work the count a couple of times on Monday night, and I was pretty impressed with how he looked on in those counts where he was able to get to 2-3 ball counts, but still just looks a little bit behind. Still got to re-get the timing together. I think he'll be fine, and I still think that he is going to get a majority of the starts in the corner outfield position, especially before Riley Green's return. But for now, off to a tough start. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Eric Haas, I wanted to talk about for a second too. He is taking pitches that last year he does not take. No chance he takes. You'll never convince me. He has, I don't know if it was a thing he did in the offseason or if it's just, he's seeing the ball really well to start off the year or what, but I am blown away by all these Eric Haas at bats. Like he has, I think the home run's his only hit on the year, and he has a couple of walks mixed in there. He looks fantastic, man. Like seriously, he looks unreal. His patience at the plate, he's spitting on breaking balls low and away. He's spitting on breaking balls down and in. He's spitting on changeups. He's working the count pretty much every single at bat. I am blown away by how good Eric Haas looks so far. And that's, again, 4 games in, and the only hit is the home run. But even on, like, take the home run and completely, even if he didn't have the home run this year, he's batting 0. I would still be saying this. He really is impressing the hell out of me. Looks like a completely revamped hitter. And we got to see if it lasts. Again, just like everybody else that's doing poorly, you gotta make sure it lasts for the ones that are doing well as well. But really, really impressed by Hossie so far this season. And that's probably it for the offense. Still just struggled a little bit, man. And I think, like Scopey got his timing down by the end of that game, had a nice crushed a double, ground rule double, probably cost us another run there. But I mean, as a whole, Meadows has been fantastic. Baez, for as much crap as he gets for swinging, at everything, quote unquote, has a 333. He's gotten a hit in a third of his at bats so far as a Tiger. Jamer, I think, is fine. Miggy has been impressive. Single digits now, I think, away 9, right? Away from 3K. Scopey seemed to get his timing down. Harold, whatever. We talked about everybody else. So I think it's coming around, and I think it's already coming around, and I have pretty high hopes for the rest of this series and just going forward. I'm hoping that that huge rut that we were in the last two games of the White Sox series, probably can safe to say just the whole White Sox series, is behind us. So we'll see. Let's get into the pitching, though, because Matt Manning, fantastic. First, though, I got to tell y'all about Rock Auto. This episode's brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts that you need. So why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders parts on their computer, choosing only the brand their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers. You have access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30%, 50%, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? It just doesn't make sense. Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Their prices are reliably low for every customer. They have everything you could need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even a new carpet. So go explore their easy to use website today and find the solution for your auto parts needs. Go to rockauto.com right now, see all the parts available for your car or truck, and right locked on. Goodness, I can't speak. Right locked on in the How Did You Hear About Us box, so they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need at rockauto.com. Man, I think that was like one of those just mental things. Like I was cruising, right? I've been crushing the ad reads all day, and then the last one, right? The last one of the show, I'm three-quarters of the way done with it, and I just slip up once, and then I'm like, oh shoot, man, you just slipped up on an ad read. That looks bad, right? You should probably not do that again. So then I do it again, and then I'm like, all right, you got two behind you, you're chilling. Nope. Sure enough, there it is. I just put too much pressure on myself to just crush those ad reads, man. It's killer. It's really killer. I let everybody down. You know who didn't let everybody down? Matthew Manning. What a phenomenal performance. He goes 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, 2 Ks, 68 pitches. The only hit he gave up was the solo home run to JD Martinez. If it wasn't for that, I'd imagine he would have kept going, but who knows? Regardless, fantastic. And honestly, we'll just talk about the home run right off rip, right? It wasn't even a bad pitch. Did it catch a little too much of the plate? I mean, probably, but he still jammed him inside the fastball velocity he had been feeling really good about all game. The velocity last year was kind of a weird thing for everybody, right? We were all like, this is weird. We were told Matt Manning was a mid 90s fastball guy, and now he's in the majors. He's throwing like 92. And then a little bit at the end of last season, like his last start or two, you got a glimpse and you were like, whoa, he just pumped out 96 right there. That was weird. And today, he had 4 pitches, 96 mile an hour or higher. He topped out at 97.3 and has a few more mixed in there at 94, 95. His average fastball velocity was just a tick under 94 miles an hour. That's a great sign. So, as far as the pitch, yes, right. Did it catch a little too much? Probably, but I don't mind that location at all. And JD Martinez is a hell of a hitter. Most players probably aren't able to turn in on that. It takes, an all-star caliber hitter to turn on heat inside like that and send it 415 feet to left field, right? Left field. Got that one right. So Matt, he also gets 6 swing and misses. Not bad. That was another thing last season. Kind of struggled with a little bit, getting swing and miss stuff. He was just throwing the fastball a ton. But the most impressive thing about this was the lack of fear. I honestly, like, this was a Red Sox team that off rip was taking hacks right away. Was taking big hacks. The game plan was to swing early and swing often. And ideally, you would like a little more, you would like to see a little more whiffs, right? See a little more swings and misses induced for a team that was that aggressive early on. And in the first inning, I think he had 3 whiffs just in the first inning alone. He had a 9-pitch inning, right? 1, 2, 3 with the strikeout. The Devers strikeout pitch was beautiful. A 4-seam fastball, 96, but it had a little bit of tail at the end. Oh my goodness, man. It was a beautiful pitch and a beautiful outing. And like I said, so he had 6 swings and misses. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. And I think the biggest thing was the average exit velocity. By the end of his outing, it was up to 89 miles an hour, which is a little bit higher than not than you'd like it, because an 89 mile an hour an 89 mile an hour exit velo is not, that's middle of the pack. Or it would have been middle of the pack for 2021. So I'm going to assume it'd be about middle of the pack for this year. It's not a horrible number. It's not great, but it's not bad either. So I think the biggest thing is just going to be him lasting longer and longer into games. And AJ Hinch did say, if this was June, maybe he lasts a little bit longer. The average exit velocity through the first like 3 innings was substantially lower. I mean, he was at one point he was rocking like 84 to 85 miles an hour, which is a good number. That's very impressive. A lot of soft contact with that. And then as the outing went on, he also was very fastball heavy, 60% fastballs this game. 41 of his 68 pitches were fastballs. And with that tail on it, and if it's up into the mid 90s, that's not a bad thing. And it clearly wasn't a bad thing tonight. He looked fantastic. But they started seeing him a little bit better as it went on. And I completely agreed that it was the right time to pull him. Even though his pitch count was low, he probably could have gone 7 if you wanted to, or you could at least send him out there. I completely agreed with the decision, especially you're really trying to win a ball game, right? Like the last 2 games have left a sour taste in your mouth. You're really trying to get back on top, get back on the horse, and get a win. And I completely agree with then going Lang, Fulmer, Soto, and just saying, you know what, Matt, you did your job. We're going to go to our 3 best relievers right now. And that's what they did. Now going to those 3 best. Oh, also Matt Manning's breaking ball, disgusting. Just absolute filth. If he can just get the command a little bit better, that's going to be such an effective pitch. It like so nasty. So nasty. The curve, it's got a great shape. It needs a little bit more of a bite once it hits its top, right? Once it hits its peak, it needs a little more of a bite, I think. But the shape is beautiful, man. Matt Manning's got such nasty stuff. Such nasty stuff. Going to the bullpen, Alex Lang is disgusting. If you don't know, or if you didn't believe me for some reason, if you're like, this clown, this big-headed dude, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Look how big his nose is. His hair's funny. Now you know. And now you can say I was right. I'm not saying he's going to be an elite, like sub-2 ERA guy. But his stuff, from a pure stuff standpoint, filthy. Right? I tweeted something-ish like this out, but when you're looking at swings and misses, right? So all of our pitchers so far this year and how many whiffs they've produced. Scooby had 9 in his start. Very Scooby-esque. Have that number pretty high. Mize had 5. Erod had 5 or 6, I want to say. I think Erod also had 5. Manning had 6, as we talked about earlier. Alex Lang had 5 in the 7th inning alone and has 9 on the season, which is 2 innings. He's unreal. He's so filthy. He is going to produce so many swings and misses. I cannot wait. His chase rate is already, we're 4 games into the season. I'm not saying this is going to last, but I'm just showing you how nasty that is and how hot of a start he is off to. That's that. I don't think that was English, but you get what I'm trying to say, I think. I'm just trying to show you how hot of a start he's off to. His whiff percentage is in the top 11% in all of baseball so far this season. And his chase rate is also in the top 10% in all of baseball so far this season. Again, not saying those are sustainable, not saying it's going to last, whatever, but it might. First off, it might. He's nasty. But I just want to, I'm just trying to give you a starting point and just try to compare him to the rest of baseball and showing you this dude is filthy, which he is. His changeup was disgusting tonight. Um, Last night, as you're listening to this, the fastball is lively. Love this dude to death. I think he can be so good. So good. Thank you, Chicago. Um, Michael Fulmer, I thought looked pretty solid. More of a weak contact type of outing, right? Only induced one swing and miss in the outing, but was very good at getting the weak contact and had a pretty clean, low stress inning. I was very impressed, and Michael Fulmer is obviously going to be a really big part to the back end of this bullpen, even more so while these dudes are coming back from injury. And then let's get to Gregory Soto, because that was fun, wasn't it? Gregory Soto, in very Gregory Soto fashion, makes all of us sweat a little bit, but still gets the job done. He had 2 swings and misses, 1 called strike in his 9th inning of work there. Look, man, the fact that he can throw a 99 to 100 mile an hour sinker is disgusting, and it's sick, and it's dope, and I love it. And that's why I love him, and I'm so high on him. And you saw, right, that even when he was missing his spots, for 3 of the batters that inning, even though he was missing his spots, he was able to induce really soft contact and or like routine flyouts, and they were pissed and they were pop outs. Whatever, Bogarts had the pop out thing, right? So his potential is so high. He has the ability to be so good. It's just going to come down to command, as it always does with him. And he was missing his spots pretty much the entire inning. He clearly did to JD in June. That's probably a tie game. We're going to the bottom of the 9th, but it's not June. So here we are. Tigers get a win. He just needs to work on the command, man. The fact that he can throw a moving pitch that hard has worked in his favor and is going to continue to work in his favor. It's just going to come down to the command and mixing in the slider a little bit more. Only threw it 1 time that 9th inning. I know that, he gave up the home run on it on opening day. He only gave up 1 home run on the slider all year last year. I'm still confident in it. I think he should be too. It's a nasty pitch. He throws like an almost 90 mile an hour slider. Still a believer in Greg. Just got to get the command under together. And I think as the season goes on and as we get, a little bit deeper into the season, maybe he gets his sea legs under him. He'll be fine. Okay. So there you go. Tigers' 2nd win of the year. Some heroics by Javy Baez. Absolute electric factory, baby. Absolute electric factory. Javy Baez, Matt Manning shine. The Tigers win 3-1 series opener. Tomorrow will be a 1:00 game, and it will be Tyler Alexander on the bump. Oh, also, really quick, you can't have Michael Wacha giving you the work. That can't happen. So, in regards to the offense, right? Michael Wacha can't hold you to 1 and give you 11 whiffs. Can't happen. Can't happen. Got to be better than that. But the real going to prevail, and they did tonight. Tigers get the dub. Tomorrow, like I said, Tyler Alexander, and then Erod on, what day is that? Wednesday, to give you a rematch against his old team. Not rematch, a reunion. That's the word, against his old team. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB. Host Paul Francis Sullivan, please call him Sully, brings you his unique perspective on the major leagues, both past and present. It's free and available wherever you get your podcast. That is including YouTube, just like us. Go check us out on YouTube. We just hit 300 subscribers. Awesomeness. You guys rock. I cannot wait. Cannot wait for this summer, man. I'm glad it's here. I mean, it's here. It's time. I'm so happy that every day I get to wake up and there's going to be Tigers baseball on. Really pumped about this year. I think the team looked a lot better, light years better defensively than they did Sunday, by the way. Light years. Sunday, I think they just kind of kicked it in around the, fifth or sixth inning or whatnot. This game, everybody looked much better defensively. Harold had a nice scoop at first, by the way. I think he's probably going to be the go-to backup first baseman more so than Miggy even, for real. So a little bit of late inning stuff as well. We're running so long, I really got to dip. But I thought it was kind of intriguing, kind of fascinating how they handled the late inning subs. Victor Reyes goes in as a defensive replacement, but Eric Haas comes in as the pinch hitter, right? I think that's the move. I think that's a smart move, and I think you're going to see Haase get a lot of pinch hitting appearances this season. All around, just a masterclass. Wonderfully managed by AJ Hinch. No flaws. And Javy Baez is here, and he's the man. Reminded everybody today, like I said. That'll do it. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully recapping another dub. Tyler Alexander. Hopefully recapping another dub. Peace and love. Going to therapy's dope. And I'll catch you all then, baby. Go Tigers.